Hello twin flames, welcome to my channel. Whether you're new or coming back, happy weekend, and let's get started on our daily twin flame update. As always, I'll be looking at the energies of each of the twin collectives, feminines and masculines. We'll get a response to an additional question about the journey, and we'll see how each of the twins is seeing the connection at this time. I have decided, so as you know, before we get to actual main reading in tarot, I also pull an oracle card for each of the twins. And today I went with Beyond Lemuria deck. By the way, got this card on the top, vulnerability, never seen it, I'm pretty sure, never realized it's got a dragon on it. But you know, I haven't used it for a long time and I miss it so much. So I was looking through my decks because I'm still reacquainting myself with at least some of the decks that I haven't been using for a while because I was traveling and I had limited amount of decks with me. And I saw it and I immediately went like, yes, this one. A lot of times I use it for some specific events, like let's say next week we have summer solstice, which is a huge deal. And I'm gonna use it for that, right? Like I choose it for special occasions, but today somehow I was guided that today is the special occasion to use it. So let's see what we have for the feminines watching. First of all, hope you guys are doing great. Yesterday I did another episode of Mindfully Awake. This week we were talking about guilt and shame, the difference between the two, how to recognize them, and what to do about it. Especially with shame. Shame is so deep rooted and so subconscious that it's kind of difficult to acknowledge it. We jump into it so quickly because it's on the instinctive level that it just happens. It's like that, right? And again, if you've been going there like for a long time, maybe your whole life, it's like it just becomes an instinct, right? It's like your intuitive response kind of thing, right? You don't think about it, it's automatic. So in order to change it, again, we go back to reprogramming ourselves, becoming more conscious about it, and choosing another behavioral pattern to what do we do in situations that usually would bring us into shame. Watch it. It was a good one, had a couple of visuals actually. And let me know if you want to know more about these things, because there were a couple of topics that are actually quite big that I touched upon, but I cannot cover everything within one episode, and I don't want to go too deep, at least not yet, because I'm still feeling for, you know, what people need to know at this point, what's of use, of interest, because it's not just about me sharing a lot of information and appearing as like, you know, here you go, I'm gonna be laying that knowledge on you all who don't know. No, I don't want to do that. I want it to be practical and useful, right? Like something that you can use today or tomorrow first thing in the morning and you can start changing your life. That's the idea. All right, so for the feminines we have number 44. Who would have thought? Shine your light. I love it so much. And yes, of course, I'm gonna go to the book. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but I will read the divinator meaning. Where can you shine your light? When you have a purpose, you will also have limitless energy and no joy. Where can you grow enthusiasm in your life? Consider how you can be more aligned with your passions so you can harness your light. It may be time to return to something you enjoy, but stop doing for no good reason. You are a sovereign being. Regain compassionate empowerment and remember what lights up your world. That's a very important part. What lights up your world, and then you'll be able, it will light you up, and then you'll shine brightly, and you'll shine the light with your presence for the whole world, and you'll be able to make a difference with sharing that that skill, that knowledge, whatever that something is, whatever shines, whatever lights you up. There we go. Okay, let's go into masculine energy. What do masculines need to know at this time? Yeah, for those who haven't seen yesterday's reading, I got these disco lights as a price at the arcade. This week, don't ask one story, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, I mostly bought it. Like the reason I chose it as a prize was mostly for my dance videos and like just generally dancing, you know, creating the mood. But I thought, why not try it out? Do something a little different. This backdrop is crazy enough already, so why not add the lights? It's got all the colors imaginable. Wow, evolution 24. Look how blue both of them are. And no, this deck is not blue. For those who are not familiar with the deck, it's all colors. It's not blue. But these two, and I actually was thinking about that when I was reading this card, that it's so watery. It even got like a mermaid figure here. Not like, but she's a mermaid. Right? So something very much with the water. I was considering watching Avatar, The Way of Water this weekend. That's probably what I'm gonna do. And yeah, disclosure, I'm not a big fan of like Marvel and DC, so there are a lot of movies that like everybody knows that I've never watched. So I did watch Avatar, like the original movie, during my travel, because with a few of the platforms that I'm using on like the streaming platforms, I could sometimes download some content, which is really useful because when you're on the road, you don't always have good reception. And for the most part, like I would need Wi-Fi to actually stream something. And in some countries, you don't have coverage for some of those platforms. So there's like a lot going on in terms of just going online and streaming. So it was handy to have some stuff downloaded, and Avatar was one of those movies. So I watched it. And yeah, it was great. And I mean, it is kind of a lot to take in, but yeah, it was interesting. It was fun. Loved a lot of concepts that they're using there in terms of these creatures of Pandora and the way they live their life, their belief system. So yeah, the second one is called The Way of Water, and I feel like this is really like calling me into that watery environment. Take it how you will in terms of how you can get closer to the water element today. It sounds like a way forward for sure. Look for ways that you can flourish in the face of challenge. So this card is evolution, by the way. Tap into your original passion and remember why you chose the path that brought you to where you are now. Break a problem down to its elements and be creative in how you tackle them. Consider how you can make more fun and inspiring. Alternatively, be present and ask how you can learn, grow, and become stronger through what is happening for you. Focus on the aspects of your situation that makes it all worth it. Draw on the inner resources that can pull you through. Allergies. You have the qualities you need to shine, so don't lose sight of the bigger picture. You may be pushed to greater and deeper learnings, and it might be an uncomfortable process, but the strength, growth, and wisdom that come from journeying through the eye of the storm and embodying this knowledge is something no teacher can show you. This is learning by experience in life, right? This is like, to me, it's like a big death and rebirth transformation kind of vibe, right? Evolution is a huge word, right? That you're becoming something completely different. We a lot of times talk about evolution of species, right? Like they, I don't know, grew extra body parts or became better in surviving in the desert or whatever. Like it's a big deal. It's like it's a change on the genetic level that essentially makes you, like biologists would say, a new species. You know, like this is huge. Good for you, Divine Masculine. Sounds like masculines continue going through some rough times, so through the eye of the storm, basically. But it's gonna pay off, I promise. Okay, let's see what we have with tarot. I'm using Thelema deck today. Bottom of the deck, the World. Yeah, so it's like As we're approaching full moon, that's coming up next week on Saturday, on Friday or Saturday for some of you. It's like, how do I put this? Yeah, the cycle is closing, but also there is a bigger picture that you can see, like why certain events spanning maybe even like years and decades have been happening to you, have happened to you, how they brought you where you are today. Like you'll see that pattern that like on the canvas, you know, like when you need to step out to see, to look at the oil painted, for example, right? Like that's that kind of vibe. You'll be able to step out and see the beauty and abundance into how it led you to, or leading you to, has been leading you to the abundance that you deserve. For speaking of which, for the feminines, we see the Five of Pentacles clarified by the Sun. Always great to see the Sun, especially in this deck, because it has actually both the feminine and the masculine figure. So this is not just happiness and joy. This is happiness and joy of union, of being together, whether it's your twin or a soulmate, you know, a partner, that anything, you can do anything together and it's gonna be fun and it's gonna be happy. Even if you're just being, you know, your childish selves, like pulling this flag here, for example, right? There is a certain sadness or feeling of loneliness here, of course, with the Five of Pentacles, but I also see, especially since this is like a praying figure or like even, or during the worship part, like this is the way forward, like to connect to the divine, to see what's the past or what's the remaining piece of the puzzle to get to the sun together with your person, whoever you are considering right now, whether it's your twin or somebody else, right? Like there is still something, like you're very close, but there's still something that brings you into this energy. And when you are in the Five of Pentacles energy, you can really, even if the sun is already there, you can really enjoy it fully, right? So shining your light, of course, is one of the ways, for sure, but we'll also get more information through this reading. For masculines, we have Page of Swords clarified by King of Wands. So King of Wands, I'm getting, is what they have in the 5D realm driving them. Like the person, if we imagine that the 3D person is the avatar and someone is actually controlling them, then this person, like the soul level, you know, the 5D level, this soul is in the King of Wands vibe, and it's noticing that the avatar is still Page of Swords. And you know, if we use the association with the video game, like maybe they don't have, and I'm not a video gamer, by the way, this, like, because it's a page, they don't have a lot of energy, they don't really have equipment to go through certain missions in the game, right? It's like, have to do a lot of legwork to actually earn more stuff and get some titles to be able to even go to the next level, right? It's like, okay, so let's just get through this levels quickly now, because, you know, I'm in the King of Wands vibe. I'm ready for level 50 and we're in level 12. And it's boring. But it looks like that's what I gotta do. So there is like this sense of, okay, I understand that this is a long journey. Not like long in time, but like there's a lot that I need to do, to learn, experience, all of these things. So let's get through certain of them that I know of that I need to do. Let's get through those. Let's get them out of the way so I can get to something more exciting and interesting in my life. There is a certain energy of impatience there. That's what I'm gonna say. So divine masculines watching, look at that. That could be something that can you can get burnt on it, let's put it that way, right? Use your intuition. Don't rush out of ego, because King of Wands in the shadow mode can go into that ego space. And be considerate to everyone involved. Additional question, we have Two of Pentacles clarified by Two of Pentacles, my favorite. Thank you very much, dear guides. Yeah, so where do the twins need more balance? what area of their life needs more balance and less of hustling, juggling, and rushing. For feminines, we have the Star clarified by Seven of Swords. This is getting recognition with your mission. So there is a part here where you can actually make some wrong decisions, trying to do shortcuts, trying to get to the, again, level 50 quickly, right? Like you hear the calling and you want to get there as soon as possible. Like I'm so ready to serve my community, to do X, Y, and Z. Great, good for you, great attitude, right? But again, don't go into the extreme where it becomes unhealthy, right? There's divine timing there for a reason, right? Don't try to cut corners and well, I mean, it's a general reading, so whatever this is for you right now, it may even be, doesn't have to be specifically mission. It could be your own upskilling, whatever, up leveling that you're trying to get to. Maybe there is a certain psychic skill that you're working on and you're like, I already want to start using it, and it's still so unbalanced, right? I want to get more balance in it. Use the guidance, the divine guidance for this. Do not try to outsmart the system, so to speak. You don't want to skip certain steps, because those could be crucial on your journey and what you are experiencing and learning, if that makes more sense. For masculines, we have the Strength clarified by the Fool. Look at all these major arcanas. Wow. So masculines need to get more courage. As simple as that. To me, both of these cards actually are a reflection of that, right? It's like faith and courage, that you don't need to have a contingency plan, that you don't need to know the answers up front, right? It's not necessarily a game of chess where you are planning like 10 moves ahead, right? Like this is like living in the moment, but in a courageous way, in a brave way. Brave meaning from like your heart and solar plexus together, not from your ego, not from like, yeah, I'm gonna show you, yeah, I'm gonna be a daredevil and I'm gonna go for it. No, it needs to come like a lot of times just from like our societal storytelling, the fairy tales, like all kinds of things. It's hard for us to see how courage and kindness go hand in hand, right? Like courage seems something more cruel and rough and possibly dangerous, right? But a lot of times that's not what it is, especially in the current day and age, where we're not living in the wild, where we can be hunted for dinner, or I don't know, a flood can kill us. I mean, it can still kill us, but you know what I mean. We have so much of the technology, of information, of the advancement in our everyday life to not worry about those things, right? So a lot of it becomes on the emotional level, right? It's more surreal, it's more ephemeral. And that's where it gets tricky, because our instincts from those caveman times still go into that. If it's danger, yeah, I'm gonna fight it, I'm gonna be fierce, I'm gonna be rough. That's not what it is really. And it may help you for a while, but not in the big stuff. And this is the big stuff, this is major arcanas. So it's like this, I would say, balancing out courage and fear, the amount between, but also courage and ego. How are the feminines seeing the connection? Not the Fool. Fool clarified by King of Cups. Feminines put caution to the side, or throw caution to the side, that's the expression, right? And they believe that their masculine is the King of Cups. They haven't really shown that face fully yet, but they have that capacity, they have that potential, they have that big heart and so much capacity to give and receive love. And that's what's inspiring the feminines on this new phase that they're starting up. And we also talked about this in yesterday's reading, by the way, about the new start. how are the masculine seeing the connection? Eight of Cups clarified by Three of Swords. Lots of kind of putting things behind you and walking away. There's also full moon here, if anybody noticed. And we've been talking about full moon for a while, right? Like for the masculines, this, what has happened in their relationship and the heartbreak that they've gone through actually caused them to look honestly onto their life and certain ways of living and the relationships that they've built and what they considered the good and the bad in terms of how they treated people. And that's what they're walking away from. Like there's a lot there that was illuminated to them through their catharsis, through this kind of like pain that went into this transformational energy, right? And they're like, yeah, this is just, yeah, this has to change. I need to change. And I definitely cannot change if I'm still surrounded by the same group of people and we keep, what's it called? Encouraging, let's say, we keep encouraging this kind of behavior in each other over and over again. It just keeps going back and forth, back and forth. We're playing like this game of ball, right? And we bounce off each other and we just carry on doing the same thing, right? And if I want to do something else and I can see they are not gonna buy into it or they won't even get it, that means I need to walk away and find my tribe, my people somewhere else. And it's a big deal, it's a huge deal for the masculine, especially at this time, especially the time of evolution when everything seems to be changing, right? And you know, like in time of need, you usually rely on those people around you to support you, like practically, emotionally, in various ways, to be there for you. And then suddenly, plot twist, these people aren't really supporting you, right? Or when you really need them, they're not there. Or you start talking to them about what you're going through and they're saying it's a bunch of BS. What are you talking about? Get real. You know, and then suddenly masculines realize like, wow, what have I been doing all this time? Who have I been giving my energy to? And this, like this, the catharsis from the heartbreak, from this connection is what has led them to it. And I'm not saying that it's all healed. It's a work in progress. Right? So there's still pain. It's still keeping like this, pushing this transformation. But it is what it is. Okay, this was a little long, but I'm glad we did it on the weekend when everybody hopefully has a little more time. I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Please, please, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and share this video with others who would benefit from this kind of information. Love you all.